ocean. There's no place to hide.
Big waves coming up behind me. You gotta love life.
This is where you find out what sort of man you are.
Yeah, major panic stations here.
It's just been really tough and I'm really scared now.
Unforgiving, it will not stop.
That was amazing.
It's the hardest thing I've ever done.
What's the craziest thing I can do in rowing? And this is it, by far.
It is a challenge. It's a serious challenge. It's the toughest race on earth. Come on, guys. 3,000 miles, 2 hours on, 2 hours off.
As you can see, it's winter here in Stockholm, but we still have to do the training.
2,900 nautical miles from La Gomera to English Harbour in Antigua.
Our mental strength are going to take us first over the finish line.
Kull sena fix-xahar ta' Diċembru ssir it-Talisker Whisky Atlantic Challenge u din qed issir bħalissa iżda sakemm din tintemm se nġeddu ftit memorji ta' edizzjonijiet li għaddew. It-Talisker Whisky Atlantic Challenge hija sfida ta' qdif fl-Atlantiku, sfida ta' 3,000 mil minn La Gomera fil-Gżejjer Kanarji sa' Antigua fil-Karibew. Ikkunsidrata bħala waħda mill-iktar sfidi sportivi perikolużi fid-dinja fejn il-kuraġġużi jitfgħu ruħhom kontra l-elementi f'wieħed mill-aktar oċeani tal-biża'. F'din it-tellieqa nsibu kategoriji varji minn solo sa massimu ta' tim b'5 min nies. Din l-isfida taqqat flimkien nies u timijiet minn kull livell tal-ħajja, kollha bl-istess għan li jaqsmu l-Oċean Atlantiku fuq dajsa tal-qdif. Kull sena flotta internazzjonali ta' nies jipparteċipaw, min waħdu u min f'tim. Wara tluq tagħhom dawn se jgħixu għal madwar 40 jew 50 ġurnata fid-dajsa tal-qdif tagħhom, dajsa li fiha biss 7 metri tul u 2 metri wisa'. Dawn il-qaddifa se jkunu esposti għall-elementi miċħuda mill-irqat u fil-każ li jkunu f'tim jaqtfu bażi ta' xift, satejn qdif u satejn irqat. Aktar nies teraw fl-ispazju milli qatfu l-Atlantiku u għalhekk li hija ġustament ikkunsidrata bħala waħda mill-aktar sfidi ħorox fuq il-pjaneta.
Someday I would just fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay. So I had a dream that I'd just fly away. I've been on my own for a minute. Is it only me out there? Searching for the place to begin it. Is it me? Is it you? Is it fear? Standing on the line I was given. People stare and ask me why I'm here. No one seems to think that I fit in. But I don't wanna be like them. No, 'cause I don't wanna be like them. 'Cause I know that I...
Dawn huma ftit fatti dwar din it-tellieqa. Kull persuna jew membru ta' tim se jkun għamel aktar minn 1.5 miljun qatfa tul it-tellieqa. Il-parteċipanti se jaqtfu għal satejn u jorqdu għal satejn kontinwament għal 24 sija kuljum. Kien hemm aktar nies li telgħu fuq l-Everest milli qatfu dan l-oċean. Aktar minn 6 miljuni ġew miġbura għal diversi għaqdiet tal-karità madwar id-dinja matul l-aħħar 4 tiġrijiet. Se jtelqu fl-Oċean Atlantiku fejn l-aktar parti fonda hija ta' 8.5 kilometri. Hemm żewġ xogħtijiet ta' sigurtà li jappoġġjaw it-timijiet meta jkunu qed jaqsmu l-Atlantiku. It-tim Lokura rebbieħa tal-2013 waslu f'Antigwa b'munqar ta' Blue Marlin imwaħħal fid-dgħajsa.
I would just fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay. So I had a dream that I'd just fly away, away. Oh, 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 I'd fly away. No one knew how low I was feeling. I was scared to reach for it all, knowing I was here for a reason. But I was scared that if I tried, I'd fall. So where do I go now that I'm in it? I never thought it'd be like this.
It-timijiet huma appoġġjati 24 siegħa kuljum minn żewġ uffiċjali fuq l-art.
Thought the grass was greener there.
Fit-tellieqa tal-2016 il-qaddif Solo Daryl Farmer wasal f'Antigwa wara 96 ġurnata. Dan għamel li sbaħ 1200 mil 40 ġurnata jaqdef mingħajr tmun.
And I always knew I couldn't stay.
Kull qaddif irid jikkonsma 10 litri ilma kuljum.
Away, oh, 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 I fly away. Oh, 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 I fly away. 'Cause
Il-qaddifa jaħarqu aktar minn 5000 kalorija kuljum.
I would just fly away.
Kull qaddif jitlef medja ta' 12 kilo tul it-traġett.
I couldn't stay. So I had a dream that I'd just fly away, away. Oh, 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 I'd fly away.
Tul din l-isfida l-qaddifa mhuma xejn mingħajr id-dgħajsa tagħhom. Id-dgħajsa l dawn il-qaddifa hija fundamentali biex jiffaċċjaw dan l-oċean. Din issir l-aqwa ħabib tagħhom u d-dar tagħhom tul il-ġimgħat meta jiffaċċjaw dan l-oċean. B'hekk inevitabilment tiżviluppa relazzjoni speċjali ħafna mad-dgħajsa tagħhom. Ikun hemm żmien matul it-tellieqa meta xi wħud mill-qaddifa ma jkunu jridu xejn ħlief li jħallu d-dgħajsa, kemm jekk għaliex qed ibatu bis-sea sickness jew għax għandhom ix-xewqa li jieqfu, imma d-dgħajsa dejjem se tkun l-iktar post sikura lihom.
First week is always the worst for the rowers. There will always be some that are seasick. There will be rowers that want to get off. The two key things we tell the rowers is that the safest place is to stay on the boat. You can cut them in half and they'll still float. And if they get off, they will regret it for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely, my boat is my best friend, my life force on the ocean.
This is going to be our home for the next 45 days. We'll never get off this boat.
It's hard to know who's going to struggle, but we know that call will come.
Il-partiċipanti jikkonsmaw mal-5000 kalorija kuljum. Dan jinstema' bħala konsum enormi ta' kaloriji kieku jiġu konsmati minn nies normali fuq l-art, iżda dan mhux il-każ għal dawn il-qaddifa. Minħabba l-eżerċizzju fiżiku kostanti li jagħmlu fuq il-baħar, il-qaddifa jitilfu madwar 20% tal-body mass tagħhom. Id-dgħajjes jintlew bikliet nutrittivi li varjaw minn mac and cheese għal veġitarjani sa beef stroganoff u chicken vindaloo għall okkażjonijiet speċjali. Minn barra li kliet hemm ukoll pakketti ta' ikel ħafif ta' kuljum li fosthom ikun hemm varjetà ta' ċikkulata u anke ħalib ikkondensat li huma kollha importanti biex jilqu livell ta' kaloriji ta' kuljum.
I wouldn't call any of our food luxury. It's more calorific.
We're planning on consuming 5,000 calories per day, possibly 10,000 calories a day.
We've got 1,000 packets of dry food. We've got about 24 flavours. Chili macaroni and beef.
Beef stroganoff.
Corned beef and baked beans.
I'm vegetarian, so I've basically got macaroni cheese.
We also have got chicken vindaloo in there.
We do expect to lose, typically it's about 20% of your body mass.
Din it-tellieqa fl-Atlantiku hija esperjenza ta' qtieħ il-qalb, imma l dawk li jażlu li jagħmluha weħedhom tista' tispiċċa taffettwa wkoll mentalment.
Rowing the Atlantic solo is a whole different ball game. If you don't look after your mental game, you're going to fall apart out there and not make it. Just trying to keep the body and the mind in the same place, and not thinking of the end, just thinking of the day that I'm in. Do the basics and make it across.
It's such a crazy feeling. Like, you know, I've been out here for I've been a bit shaky. I'm definitely kind of keeping mentally tough, I suppose. I'm going to do whatever it takes.
M'hemm xejn li jista' jippreparak għal din it-tellieqa, il-qaddifa jiffaċċaw mowġ ta' 40 pied, riħ ta' 35 knot u sħana ta' 40 grad, uħud mill-aktar elementi ħorox fid-dinja.
There is nothing that can prepare you for rowing across the Atlantic.
35 plus knot winds.
Rainstorms, it's 40-foot waves.
35, 40-degree heat.
Conditions change minute by minute.
You can't escape it. There's nothing more grounding than being exposed to the full force of the elements, and in their most extreme versions.
You're literally exposed to the elements 24/7, and that transforms you as a person.
You've got salt crystals all over your skin, all over your eyebrows.
Almost like you've jumped into a bed of stinging nettles, day in, day out.
It's relentless. You just don't know when it's going to let up.
It's a mind bender out there.
Some of the greatest moments in my life were out on the water.
That wonderful sunset you see, it's that wonderful sunrise you see.
The light from the moon reflecting off the water looked like you're rowing on a lake of mercury. It's just beautiful.
And that part is almost impossible to replicate anywhere else.
Life is there for living, life is there to be seized, life is there to excel at.
It's a chance for you to find your true self.
It always astounds me how much more we can do than we think we can.
Issa ħanaraw l-esperjenzi ta' ħut minn rebbieħa tul is-snin, fosthom Latitude 35, tim ta' 4 qattifa li mhux biss rebħu l-edizzjoni tal-2017, iżda wkoll stabbilixxew rekord dinji ġdid meta spiċċaw din it-tellieqa fi żmien inkredibbli ta' 35 ġurnata, 14-il siegħa u 3 minuti. Ħanisimgħu aktar dwar din l-esperjenza tagħhom fit-Talisker Atlantic Challenge.
My name is Jason Caldwell. Last year I took part in the Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Challenge. Rowing across the Atlantic was absolutely tougher than I thought it would be. The toughest thing I've ever done. We were all great river rowers in calm, flat water, but the ocean is a completely different beast. I incorrectly assumed that we could control the elements because we were big and strong, but you can't. After just 10 days, 2 of our crew had to be evacuated from the boat. I was left to row 2,400 miles as a pair. It seemed impossible. We got in 2 weeks after the first boat and 3 weeks longer than we thought. I have never been so humbled. Almost immediately I was asked if I'd ever do this again. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, no way. And here I am going back again, knowing that you personally had put everything into it and weren't able to get the results that you wanted. That's a tough thing to live with. That's why I'm coming back, to settle unfinished business. When I put this team together, I really asked myself, what is the right guy for this team? Experience is important, strength is important, courage, of course, but in the end, selflessness is what you need out there. Angus was my first pick for this new team. He won the race against me last year, set the course record, and he was the skipper of that team. He's rowed the Indian Ocean as well as the Atlantic. He builds boats for a living. Enough said. Matt and I have a history. We rowed together on the East Coast at Vesper Boat Club. It wasn't his rowing pedigree that I was so impressed with. Machine-like tenacity. That's why I asked him. We chose Alex because, as Angus said, he simply shuts up and rows. If I can't do it with this team, if the weather still doesn't allow us to break certain records, I will know that at least I was given a fair shake.
Okay, here we are, the Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Challenge 2016.
We're glad that today is finally here. We've been looking forward to this for a long time now. We've really come together as a team.
I couldn't be more proud. It cannot be overstated what these men mean to me.
Yeah, feeling nervous. I think it's stupid if you're not nervous.
A little anxious. I know what's coming, and I know the first week is very tough.
Whatever's going to happen out there. Be as prepared as you can be. Next stop, Antigua.
Feeling very excited. We're very relaxed. We're very positive.
Nothing could stop me from leaving today. The first week of the race was less than ideal.
Matt was seasick basically from stage 1. There were obvious reservations that Matt hadn't spent a lot of time at sea. In my eyes, that screams disaster.
He's throwing up, he's disoriented, and I'm thinking, have I made the same mistake as I did last year with Nick?
There's a lot of me thinking, have you not learnt a thing from last year?
It got worse and worse and worse.
You start to think, well, how long can this guy last?
This could get really bad.
Jason and Angus pulled together and did a great job at making sure Matt got 6 hours sleep.
Angus and I split his shifts, give him some time to eat and then fall asleep.
Update, this is hard. Rofe James, you think, are 4 miles ahead of us?
So we then had to have a big, aggressive move. We brought the fight to them, get onto their last shoot and then smoke them.
Rofe James are about 5 miles that way.
This was a race.
We are turning into a well-oiled machine at every session, just crushing more and more miles.
Great news this AM. You have cut under and right out in front of Rofe James.
That world record is within grasp.
We saw this weather system of Friday the 13th.
Everything went against us.
Potential headwinds for up to 2 days, which could completely ruin our hope of getting the world record.
We couldn't move the boat.
Watching the record drift away.
And it just felt like it was, God, slipping through our hands.
Hopefully there's light at the other end of the tunnel.
We were so set on that record.
Giving up was never an option. We had to average 80 miles a day for the next 5 days.
And if we do that, we may just get the record. That's how close it was.
It's literally coming down to the hour.
We did 79 miles.
92-mile day, 94-mile day.
And that final day was just beautiful closure on what was the most amazing endeavor that I've ever been part of. We crossed the ocean in 35 days, 14 hours and 3 minutes. Won the race, set the world record. I couldn't have picked a better team.
Issa se nlaqgħukom maħut mill-partiċipanti li rnexxilhom jiksru r-rekord ta' din it-tellieqa u jiddu isimhom fl-istorja tal-qdif.
We've gone out, water maker was working, and then it started, stopped. We thought we'd solved it, and it's not right, so it's the last thing you want, really.
Up until that moment, we were the most prepared team in the fleet in terms of how many miles we had covered, and then suddenly we're the most unprepared team 24 hours before. So yeah, I really didn't think we were going to make it at that stage, and then it was complete luck of the draw that that old clapped out boat behind us had exactly the same water maker, and it was actually in fairly good condition.
I don't want any more doubt, I don't want any more nightmares. It's not worth coming back a failure.
The first week's been a bit of a baptism of fire into ocean rowing. We've been doing some massive miles, but I think in comparison to the rest of the fleet, we took a pretty ballsy route down south.
I know that everybody would just basically thought we were a bit of a laughing stock for a good couple of days, thought they were just 4 girls going the wrong way.
We've been the most westerly boat for 5-6 days now. We came up with a game plan that we're going to have 3 zones across the Atlantic. So zone 1 is 900 miles, zone 3 is 900 miles, and you've got the middle stage. Generally speaking, if you look at the last couple of races, the people that are winning at the end of zone 1 win the race. We worked out what our average would have to be to get the record, and we always knew we were within sight of it, we were ahead of it for quite a lot of the time.
We knew we were doing well, we knew that we were probably the team that was moving one of the fastest. Then it showed that we were 3rd, and I think around day 7 or 8, we knew we'd overtaken the Atlantic Challenge and we were in 2nd place.
I don't think we ever thought that we were going to be in a position to actually genuinely race this, and now that we are, it's been a bit of a turn in our mentality.
10 days, baby!
Day 11.
Day 14. Day 18. Sorry. Day 19.
Day 22. We saw the storm, we were told about the storm, we thought, right, how are we going to play this? We could power anchor and we could lose a couple of miles, we could plough on through it, but it could not work and we could shatter ourselves out.
Within 24 hours, we were just getting pushed north no matter what we tried to do. All to helm, boof, off.
On power anchor, because it's bad weather, our water maker has broken, in which we're going to have to now change the water pump. And we thought, hey, the wind's calmed down a little bit, so let's drag in our power anchor to find about 20 metres into dragging it in that our retrieval line has completely snapped.
It's really frustrating. Today was looking like a good day. We've been averaging about 3.7 knots. So we're looking at a high 80 miles, which is a good stint. Now, tonight, if it carries on like this, we're going to only cover probably 30 miles in 12 hours, which is not very good.
Final day in Camp Arlag.
Do you know, the last 24 hours on the boat were the most surreal.
We can basically just see Antigua. It looks so close. I just can't believe it.
And then I swung from counting down the miles to all of a sudden thinking, I actually don't want to get off this boat. I don't want this amazing adventure to end.
Ladies and gentlemen, 37 days, 9 hours and 12 minutes, new race record.
You dream about this moment coming in and like having family and friends and everyone here.
Couldn't even imagine it to be like this.
Then you realise, wow, what we've just achieved is pretty massive. And obviously on top of that, coming in with the race record, best feeling in the world.
I don't think anything could have prepared us for the actual finish. Oh God, I was so emotional talking about it. I can't talk about it. I hope it has inspired people. We were so normal, just like mates on a boat, and I hope that proves that you really can do anything.